Welcoming to the show, Fingers Malloy and Thomas LaDuke. Gentlemen, welcome to Cam & Company.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for having us.
Nice radio voice, LaDuke. Good afternoon.
I
And now
like
with
that.
the headlines.
Let's see who could get the deepest on the
That's
air.
right. Hello, America. It is an honor and a pleasure to have you boys on the show. I personally am a huge fan of you guys. I listen to the Snark Factor as much as I can. 8 o'clock Eastern time on FDR Radio. Guys, there's just so much to talk about. Before we get to the meat of the matter and what's going on these days, Fingers especially, talk to us about the latest. We've Pop talked to you a few weeks ago about hugging more. We play the interview occasionally just to get some more interest and get some more money for the project. Talk about hugging more. Where are you at right now? What is it?
Well, first of all, again, thanks for having us, and thank you for all you've done to help us, supporting the project. It's a documentary that we are filming about Michael Moore and his love-hate relationship with capitalism. We launched a fundraising campaign a few months ago, and basically word of mouth on Twitter. We're still in the process of trying to raise money. We're kind of using Frack Nation as a template and what they were able to do on Kickstarter. We're using Rally. But our goal is to raise $100,000 to film this documentary. We're filming in New York, D.C., and in Michigan. So we're still in the fundraising, like I said, part of the project, but we're excited. We've got a few Fox News contributors that have signed on to be a part of it. And for more information, just go to huggingmore.com. We've got a 1-minute trailer there, and you can join the rally campaign.
Very cool. Huggingmore.com. We love it. We'll keep up with that as much as possible. All right. So for people who don't know about the show, guys, give us your elevator speech. What is the Snark Factor? And, why should people listen to your show weeknights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time? Eastern Time.
Yeah, Snark. Fingers. Go ahead and explain that one.
Good luck.
Our target audience is usually angry loners.
That's why I love the show. It makes sense.
Say, Cameron Gray, call your office.
That's
Wait,
right.
before Cameron Gray started listening to your show, he was single. Now he's married. All the credit to the Snark
right.
Factor
But
on
Cameron
FDR Radio.
he will always be an angry loner.
I will. Yes.
At heart.
Eric, we need
We wanted to do something fun, look, there's a lot of talk radio out there. We kind of wanted to do, for a lack of a better description, kind of a Howard Stern-esque kind of political talk show.
Yep.
Where, one of the blessings of being on internet radio is the FCC doesn't regulate you yet. So we could get away with saying and doing some things on FTR radio that maybe you couldn't do on terrestrial radio. So it's kind of a morning show kind of vibe, but yet on the other side of it, we kind of push the envelope a little bit and say some of the things that maybe people would like to say on terrestrial radio but aren't able to.
Yeah, a Schlichter appearance on our show and a Schlichter appearance on your show are two different, way different animals.
Ouch.
And I'll just say quelling, and we'll leave it at that. All right, so let's talk some news right now. Thomas, the other day I was listening to you, and I don't think. Talk about angry loners. Holy crap, dude. You were an angry young man. You were not happy with the political situation these days. And I think a lot of people share your frustration and your anger about what's going on in the political process.
Absolutely.
What's going on the right when it comes to the splintering, when it comes to the cliques, and it comes to the infighting, especially, you guys are huge on social media. When you look at the infighting on Twitter, even just today, I mean, just every day, it's just uglier and uglier. Thomas, what got you so fired up?
Oh, I was breathing. I was converting oxygen to carbon like I tend to do. Just to go back really quick to the angry loner thing, I mean, I grew up watching Keith Olbermann. I thought, that's the gig I want. So why not act like that? Yeah, you know what?
Right.
There really is so much going on, and I know the past month I've been on the show here talking about what's going on in Detroit.
Yep.
And, I live just outside of Detroit here. It just seems like the stupidity has seeped into just so many aspects of everything. I'm grasping for words, and it drives me nuts. And occasionally, I try to quell it with some bourbon during the show. But occasionally, something happens, and it'll happen like a half hour, 45 minutes before the show, and I just start thinking about it. It starts bubbling up, and boom, I go off like a volcano. And last week, some stuff that had happened with our friends over at the Smart Girl Politics, an article that was written, and some of the response that I saw, and then here in Michigan, Detroit's bankrupt, but we're going to build a $400 million hockey stadium, and 50 to 60% of that money is going to come out of the taxpayers' coffers, because this is going to be the rebuilding of Detroit. And the Wayne County, where Detroit resides, is now looking at bankruptcy also. And I'm thinking, we're not really focused on the right things here all the time.
That's right.
And so I lost my cool, which I want to do occasionally.
Talk about Smart Girl, and actually, especially for this audience, the theme of it was about women being armed. There was a morning session at a local gun range there in Indianapolis, Fingers, where you live. Did you? I don't know if I know, Thomas. I don't think you went, but Fingers, did you go to the range, or did you hear about how it went with all these various women from around the country? This conservative women.
He got dressed up in the range, all right. He was looking good, I heard.
Nice. Were you?
I sometimes I tend to not bring out the best in women, so sometimes I think it's best that I'm not around them.
Wow.
Wow. I heard that it was a fantastic event, and Smart Girl Politics did a great job putting that together. The ladies that went to the gun range had a fantastic time. They had a great trainer that gave them the tools necessary for first-time shooters to go in and feel comfortable. Everything I heard about what they did at that gun range, everything was just a glowing review. And I think it's something that really I would like to see more conferences do, because you see a lot of people. Look, I'm a strong Second Amendment guy, but I don't own a gun. And
there's a lot of that. There's a lot of NRA members who don't own guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it would be fruitful for groups and conferences to have something like that, because that would be something that I would be interested in signing up for, just to get a better grasp on gun ownership.
Yeah. We talked, like Thomas said, we've had him on the show over the past few weeks talking about Detroit. Fingers, what is, talk about the situation in Indianapolis. It's pretty close to Detroit. But we don't hear a lot of problems with Indianapolis. Is there something bubbling under the surface we don't know about, or is it just a differently run city?
Well, it's a differently run city. Everything about talk about night and day, how the state of Indiana is run versus the state of Michigan, although Michigan's inching in the right direction. I mean, look, I'm from Michigan, and when Right to Work first propped up, I thought, well, there's no way Michigan's going to right to work. I mean, that's the home of the heart of the UAW. Sure. and the union movement. And, there was a part of me, selfishly as a Hoosier, that was almost hoping that they were going to go right to work, just because, look, all the jobs are coming to Indiana. You're seeing the jobs coming from Indiana, from Michigan, from Illinois, because the cost of running a business is just so high there, and with but in the end, I'm glad, obviously, that Michigan went right to work, because it's inching in the right direction. And Indiana can really be used as a model for other states and how they should be run. We just got Governor Pence just passed a tax cut with a balanced budget here. Indiana is really a model for the rest of the country.
Amen to that.
Speaking with
oh my God! What are you with the tourism bureau?
He's a Mike
we were
Pence
just
fan.
talking about Mike. We were just talking about Mike Pence a
Good
little
Lord,
while ago.
Andrew Lang just jumped out of his seat over Indiana.
Pence for president. Go.
Wow.
Speaking with Fingers Malloy and Thomas LaDuke of the Snark Factor.
Eric, play Indiana Wants Me as the next rejoin, please.
As opposed to the loner, which is what I just emailed.
Nice.
Guys, how do people get more information about the show?
Well, there are several message boards that I can't mention on the air, but if you really want to check the show out, go to ftrradio.com, see our entire schedule. We're on, as you said, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and you can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/fingersmalloy.
Now, is it also available on demand, and are there other shows on From the Right? Is it a network, or is it just you guys?
No, we have 23 shows.
Do you really? Holy crap.
Yeah, with like 37 hosts. And
Including Mike Pence, I hope.
I don't know.
Not
You know,
yet.
I have to double check on that. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, and 24/7. And I actually talked to some people today, and I'm going to do the radio voice right now, that are very smart and knowledgeable in certain things that are possibly going to be coming on the network.
Nice.
That's right.
No,
That's right,
it's
yeah.
one of these things we're very envious because there's a smaller version of FTR in Maryland called the Red Maryland Radio Network.
Much
And-
smaller.
Here we
much
go.
more small.
Here we
Hey,
go.
listen, I haven't
now
dropped
it's all
anything.
about Andrew.
I haven't dropped anything.
I
But
do.
no,
I do what
listen,
you do.
I am nothing if not a huge admirer of what these guys have
Of
done.
course,
in building up the
they're
network.
awesome.
It's really amazing.
No, it's cool. And the other thing about it is you guys get some really great guests. I mean, pretty much anyone in the big names in the world of conservative politics comes on the show, and they're fans of you guys.
Mike Pence?
Mike Pence. All right, I am banning Mike Pence. No one on this show can say Mike Pence until maybe next week. I'll think about it. All right, let's talk about bad leaders of local governments, and let's talk about Bob Filner, please, because as angry as you got, Thomas, over Bob Filner, if I'm a San Diegan and I live there, I just don't know how the residents of that beautiful city, and it is a beautiful city. It's
California.
It's California. It's screwed up, like we were talking at the beginning of the show, but it is one of the most beautiful cities in the country. I don't understand how San Diegans aren't with pitchforks and torches at City Hall and 100% recount ballot, getting this guy out of there. I mean, how many more women? You saw this great. When I saw this picture of this great and Gloria Allred, whatever you think about her, but you look at this great grandmother yesterday who was the 15th or 16th. I've lost count now.
What?
Yeah, 15. Yeah, great grandmother. You got to see this picture, Andrew. It's unbelievable. Yeah. And he allegedly kissed her. Oh. He told her he could last for 8 hours, which I threw up in my mouth for 8 hours. Why aren't residents of San Diego running this guy out of town?
Well, okay. Being, living north of Detroit here, I can say from experience, unless you have, the fear factor like we do in Detroit, like when I tell someone I'm from Detroit and they take a couple steps back. Okay.
Right.
The other thing that works is humiliation, and people point at you and go, you're from Detroit. Everybody just point at everybody from San Diego and go, you jerks.
Yeah.
What's the matter with you people? Come on, seriously. I know it's the left coast and everything, and I know you probably can't take pitchforks and fire, like you said, because you probably need a permit. It takes like 6 months to get it.
That's right. Yeah.
But everybody in San Diego should be shamed. If you meet anybody from San Diego, just shake your head and go, wow, really?
No, you're right. You're right. There needs to be has to be some sort of
repercussion.
backlash against San Diego. You always talk about, there's Stevie Wonder is unhappy with Stand Your Ground, so he's going to boycott Florida.
Yes.
And all these celebrities come out and say, we're going to boycott this, boycott that.
Yes.
Maybe if you care about women and you don't want women to be harassed by some scumbag who should have resigned months ago, maybe you don't take your tourism dollars to San Diego and you say, listen, I'm going to go somewhere else. I mean, this guy has got to go, and I can't tell you how fast enough.
At what point does he go and legally change his last name to Kennedy?
Honestly, it's just, I watch this guy, and, he went to his rehab, and he went early, so he came back early, and it's just, it really is one of the most, and then the undercurrent of this whole story is also about how so many people protected him for so long, because you hear these stories, and you know that it's more than what the stories we're hearing about. People knew about this. People kept it quiet. He was the progressive that they wanted in office, and they kind of put up with it for a while.
I thought there was a certain Bill Clinton-esque aspect to it. He said this thing with women, and then this is
Yeah. So
Well, I think part of the
Fingers.
problem. I think part of the problem too is a lot of people identify with the guy. I mean, who hasn't been banned from Hooters? Am I right, Cam?
Shut up! I was gonna say I've been banned from Smart Girl Summit, so I'd say.
I hate when Fingers Malloy breaks the non-disclosure agreements. I hate that. Unbelievable. All right, guys, we got to go. Tell us what's on the show tonight.
It's a repeat.
Tonight?
A repeat?
Tonight. Yeah.
Oh. Huh.
Oh, there you go.
What a waste of a pre-sale.
What's
like,
coming up?
like an attorney, you should never ask a question you don't know the answer
That's
to.
right. All right, what's coming up next week?
SE Cup will be on the show next week.
Oh.
We're also working on a couple of other special guests that I am not privileged to announce right now, but one we haven't had on yet, and the Fox News guy.
And
we're pretty
a
excited
certain
about
governor of Indiana whose name we can't mention.
We're not mentioning that name, Schmike Schmentz. We're not mentioning it. And if you want, guys, Andrew Langer is available at any time. He does bar mitzvahs,
I do weddings, bar
and
mitzvahs.
any radio show that would have him. So
Yes.
he's always looking for an outlet.
I was just happy to see that today, apparently, it's Hawaiian Shirt Day at NRA.
That's exactly right.
I said, figures, no joke.
That's
he walked
right.
to the
Friday
studio. I said,
is
this.
Hawaiian Shirt Day.
I said, this isn't Sirius XM Margaritaville Radio. That's the other studio over, dummy.
It's Friday, everyone.
That's right.
Hawaiian Shirt Friday.
It's casual
My
shirt
wife
Friday.
has gone to Togo. I am without many clothes options at my house.
And he's not lying. All right, boys, listen. Fingers Malloy, Thomas LaDuke, we love you. We wish you the best at huggingmore.com, FTRradio.com. Thomas LaDuke sometimes gets really angry and curses a lot.org. Am I missing anything?
One time I thought.
Oh.
All right, gentlemen. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. You guys are the best.
Take care. Thanks.
All right, boys.